So I just wanted to say I feel very free posting films on TikTok. I've never really received, except one or two comments on me being a Karen. I've never really received negative comments or vicious comments. I received, Shiva has received a very vicious comment, somebody saying, shoot it. And what really concerns me is that a person talks, words lead to actions. A person who talks like that about dogs will, in fact, act. And the profile of this person has a baby in it, a cute little baby. Really concerns me. I hope it's not the parent of the baby, but still, I think it's a young person provocating and looking for attention. But I want to talk about cyberbullying and bullying in general. I think for me it's easy. I'm an older person, and though I am very sensitive, I really, it's not going to make me act in an extreme way. It's not going to hurt me. And sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. But still, young people, we had a case of a young man, a 13-year-old young boy who committed suicide as a result of bullying. And he didn't come from like a slum area or a place where people are like drugs, I think, or poverty stricken area. Came from a very affluent area where people are fairly educated, and it's kind of very disturbing that children did what they did to him. Just one description, just I couldn't sleep because I kept thinking, how could people be so cruel of any age, at any age? How can 13-year-olds be so cruel towards another boy? And you know what's horrible? He's a good looking, he was a beautiful young man, handsome, not obese, didn't have any qualities that usually attract bullying. He wasn't overweight, he wasn't ugly, he wasn't like disfigured, he wasn't handicapped, all those things that attract all the psychopaths. He was just a regular, good looking young guy, and for some reason, the bullies picked on him because they could. And they did horrible things to him. They humiliated him. And I think of him and I think about how vulnerable children are. It's not the first case we've had that a child took their own life. We've had a case, I think it was last year, and I think even one case is too many. So, to all those who might be on one side of the fence, either bullies or being bullied, I want to say this much. There's a benefit to growing older. You get more resilient towards bullying, but young children are very vulnerable. They haven't yet developed um, the protective layer that protects you from bullies. So I'm very sensitive, and sometimes I can also cry from just reading about things like that. But I think it's very, very dangerous when adults around children don't offer counseling and talks about a real danger, especially since young people spend so much time on cyberspace. To say a mean comment about a sweet puppy, to say shoot it, and all kinds of, you know, it just shows you the person is very troubled. Bullies are very troubled people. They are people that need help, no less than their victim. They're also victims of either some sort of mental disturbance, or they have been abused themselves, or both. And I really think it's time that adults who work with children speak about that and are more aware of what's happening in the class, what's happening after class, and parents really supervise their children. And you can't be there all the time, but make sure that you know what's going on with your child, to make sure you can talk to them. I'm not saying I was a perfect parent, but this is what I would do if I was a parent living in the world raising children in the world today where they're exposed to so many bullies online as well. This boy was not exposed to bullies online. I think it was exposed to bullies in his environment. But while we're speaking about bullying, there's also cyberbullying that is very much a problem. So, and they probably posted photos. I don't know what they did, but they really made this boy's life miserable. So let's make sure this doesn't happen again, and no other young person has to take their own life because they don't have the protective shell and they're not able to defend themselves against bullies. Let's try to speak out against bullying and help young people, especially, develop resilience against bullying by becoming aware that they should never ever take it personally. Whoever calls you names, it's about the bully more than about you. Anyone calling you names, anybody making mean comments and threats to you, it's about them being screwed up, them being unbalanced, them being having troubles and maybe having been abused in some way, or maybe just being unbalanced. It's never about you. Never take it personally, and love yourself and take care of yourself, because your life is worth taking care of and protecting. And please seek the help of a responsible adult around you. Tell somebody. If you're being bullied, tell someone. Confide in someone who is able to do something, or just tell. The more you tell, the better. Speak out. Don't keep it a secret, because it's not your fault. That's what I want to say. Bullying is never your fault, and nobody deserves to be spoken to in an abusive way. Abusive talk is violence. It's just another form of violence, just like hitting or beating up somebody. To speak badly about a person is another form of violence. And yes, stick and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me is not really true, because words can cause a lot of harm, especially to young people who don't have their protective shell yet. We haven't built up resilience. So please, it's not your fault. If you're being bullied, it's not your fault. Um, and it's not about you at all. It's about a very unbalanced person taking their anger out on you. So please, your life is precious, too precious to let anything make you push you into thinking that you should end your life. Your life is too precious. Life is a gift that we should really hang on to. And please don't be afraid to reach out for help and share your feelings and thoughts with somebody that you can trust. Peace, light, and love.